With the NFL draft around the corner, it is now being speculated what the Panthers will do with the number 8 pick. And with Trey Lance and Justin Fields being possible options, let's talk about which one the Panthers should roll with. You're listening to Money in the Bank. So, with the speculation going around and the many of mock drafts that have come about, Trey Lance and Justin Fields have seemed to be the two guys that teams have paid to go to Carolina. And for me, it's a matter of preference. I don't think you can go wrong with either quarterback. I think both of these guys provide something that you could really love. And I'm going to start with Justin Fields. Justin Fields comes from Ohio State, comes from a spread type of system. I know a lot of guys have been, knocking Justin Fields here lately. And I think it's really because of the school and their history with the quarterback position. You think about J.T. Barrett, Dwayne Haskins, Cardale Jones. Hell, even go all the way back to damn Troy Smith way back when. They don't have a great track record with producing quarterbacks in the NFL. But this is the part that I learned this from Tyler, my co-host, and you scout the player, not the school. Justin Fields in most years is QB1 for most draft classes. The only thing keeping Fields and Lance being 1 and 2 is Trevor Lawrence. So for me, Justin Fields is everything that I would want for Carolina. It's a great replacement for what you had in Cam Newton, of course. He's everything that you would want to bring in. Big quarterback, 6'3", around 225 pounds. Nice, good speed. I think he'll probably clock around. If he runs a 40, I'd say he's probably a low 4.5, 4.6 type of guy. So solid speed and great arm. Now he does have the thing where the one knock that people have had against him is him going through his progressions. I don't think that's I don't think that's as big of an issue as people may lead you to believe. First of all, I don't think you can really tell me that he doesn't go through progressions when you don't know the playbook or the play that is called. So I don't know how one could necessarily say this if it isn't coming from a bona fide source. Like if it's not coming from Ryan Day telling me this kid can't go through reads. I've watched this man deal it before. I don't believe that's the case. I believe a lot of what he did at Ohio State was by design. And so with me believing that, I believe that Justin Fields will be just fine in the NFL. Now, he's got all the arm strength and the arm talent that I can want. And then I think really what it will boil down to for both of these cats is really boil down to decision making. And do I believe he's a great decision maker? There are moments and lapses in judgment from Justin Fields that I saw a lot of. It reminded me a lot of Cam and some of the lapses in judgment he would have at times. But overall, I think he's a guy that I think talented enough to take this current roster and make this a competitive team from day one. Now, let's dig more into Trey Lance. With Trey Lance, he comes from more of a pro-style system, more of a traditional system that really would fit more of Atlanta, considering they brought their offensive coordinator from the Tennessee Titans, which is a under center, hand onto the running back, drop pat passes, kind of like an old school throwback type of style of game. He kind of would fit there. I guess my only question about Trey Lance, his ability is all there. I think he has all the physical tools, everything from a physical standpoint. I think he can make every single throw. When the ball leaves his hands, it looks beautiful. He probably has the best deep ball. I probably would say him and Trevor Lawrence are probably neck and neck for probably the best deep ball out of this class of quarterbacks in my mind. I think Trey Lance is everything you would want, but it's the biggest knock is experience. And can you make up for that? I think if you have Trey Lance, Justin Fields is like this. I believe Justin Fields is a day one starter if you bring him in. Trey Lance, I believe, because of the lack of time he had playing the game of football at a collegiate level, would probably need a year. Much like how you have people had to give Patrick Mahomes a year in Kansas City. I think if you give him a year behind Teddy, allow him to figure out how to process the game, I think that would benefit you more than going with Teddy than trying to throw him out there early. I think that would be the only option I could really see. Look, here's the thing: if we draft a quarterback at either Trey Lance or Justin Fields, we're probably going to have Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback still on the roster because we probably would not have found a trade partner for him, and it'll probably be best for both of these guys to probably sit for a season. If I had to pick who I love the most, I would have to go with Justin Fields. I think because having more of a body of work being that he's coming from a system similar to what we run in Carolina, and I believe that Joe Brady can immediately have a huge impact on him, and we're not having to transition him into playing a style where you're throwing the ball 30 times a game. You know, Trey Lance doesn't come from that. He's a guy that's going to that I think is going to transition to this degree. Is going to transition in this league and be a great player. I think I would love him in Carolina as well. I kid you not. I would love to have either of these guys. I think you really cannot go wrong. But I think Justin Fields is the way to go. But that's just me. But you guys have been listening to Money in the Bank. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Panthers Nation Podcast YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at P1N_network. I'm your boy Shontis Stewart, and I'm out.